All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Healthy Living event sponsored by the Juice Plus community. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Carol Turnbow. I'm a senior sales coordinator with the Juice Plus company. I'm also a wife. I'm a mom. I'm a Mima. I'm a CrossFit coach. I'm a CrossFit Masters athlete, but my passion is nutrition. My passion is teaching people that food really does heal your body. So tonight you're going to be hearing from myself and some of my teammates. We've all joined on a mission to inspire healthy living around the world. And I'm going to start tonight by introducing our product line. Our product line is simple and will remain simple because it's food. It's food that our bodies need on a daily basis. Juice Plus has figured out how to put fruits and vegetables in a capsule, and it's amazing and easy. So I'm going to start tonight by showing you our fruit, our vegetable, and our berry blend. These three blends are 100% plant-based all the way down to the capsule. They're better than organic. They're non-GMO. They're picked at the peak of ripeness with an NSF seal of approval. And what that means is that what is in the product is on the label. So for instance, here, I'm going to show you our berry label, and you can see, but I'm going to read it to you because you probably can't see it very well. But our label reads raspberry, bilberry, blueberry, cranberry, pomegranate, grape, blackcurrant, blackberry, elderberry, artichoke, and cocoa. My favorite part of our label is this right here. It's the nutrition label. Only food can carry a nutrition label. Like I said earlier, Juice Plus has figured out how to put fruits and vegetables in a capsule, and that's what you're getting when you take these. We also have our full spectrum of plant-based omegas, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. So we've all heard that we should be taking omega-3s or fish oil, right? You always hear, make sure you take your fish oil. It's good for brain health and for chronic inflammation. Well, Juice Plus has cut out the fish. The fish actually go to algae and eat algae to get their omega-3s from. So we use algae oil, pomegranate seed oil, tomato seed oil to come up with our vegan blend of omegas. So love this, the 4 capsules together. I take every one of those capsules every morning with one of my complete shakes. So we have complete shakes, another vegan product in chocolate and vanilla. Both of them are just as yummy as the other. I can't decide. When people ask me, I'm like, I don't know. They're both good. I love them both. So I actually crave them. I love having my my complete shake with my capsules in the morning. We have a Perform. It's a protein powder that's got a little bit more grams of protein per serving, 25 grams of protein per serving, more so than the complete that I take. It's a berry blend that I typically take while I'm doing my workouts. Love the Perform. That's a fairly new product for us. And last but not least, we have this amazing tower garden where you can grow, I see one on the back of someone's picture right now. So you can grow your own vegetables and your own lettuces and herbs and all these amazing things. You can grow them inside, you can grow them outside. I live in Indiana. We have a really short growing season. So I love that in about October, I'm going to wheel my garden in my house. I'm going to attach the lights to it and I can keep on growing my things, and I can have fresh herbs, fresh lettuce, fresh veggies all year round. Farm to table, 10 steps. Love my tower garden. So if you haven't heard about it, make sure that you talk to someone who invited you to the call, because you've got to know about the tower garden. So we have an amazing lineup of speakers. You don't want to hear from me anymore because you need to hear from all of these people that came to share their Juice Plus journeys, their stories. Michelle Swift has brought some people along to share their journeys. Michelle, welcome to the call. I'm going to start with you and let you take it away. You need to unmute, honey. There you go.
Okay. Thanks, Carol, for always being a part of this call. It's such a blessing, and I just thank you for letting us share our awesome stories. Again, my name is Michelle Swift, and I am married to my husband, Bill, for 36 years, and we live in sunny Paradise Valley, Arizona. We just finished a huge remodel on our home we built, and we've been living there for 30 years. We have 3 beautiful daughters. 2 of them are married to incredible men, and they all live in California. Unfortunately, we just were blessed June 1st with our very first grandson, Hudson. And so I'm sure we'll be spending lots of time in Arizona, in California, as we have lived here all summer, helping out my daughter. So my girls were my reason for being introduced to Juice Plus. My oldest daughter had just left for college, and I had 2 in high school. super busy, competitive athletes, competitive dance, volleyball, tennis, you know it. We were always on the go, and my kids were sick all the time. I tried my hardest to feed them healthy, but fast food seemed to win our crazy schedules over. So they were always run down. We lived at urgent care, and it seemed like every month my kids were on antibiotics for strep throat, sinus infections, bronchitis. You name it, they had it. And I was always complaining. I didn't know that I was suppressing my sweet kids' immune systems. So one day, one of my dearest, closest friends looked at me and she said, I am sick of you complaining about your kids being sick. You need to call my friend Kelly, who I have seen change her kids' health over the last 10 years. And this was a friend, you guys, that wasn't even on the Juice Plus product herself, but she had heard from her friend, her best friend and neighbor, what the power of nutrition had done for her family. So I called Kelly, and all she said, Michelle, it's just simple. And I said, how is it so simple? And she says, it's 30 different vine ripened fruits and vegetables in a capsule or a chew, just like Carol had mentioned. She said, and it's changed our lives. And so I looked at my husband and I said, why not? We need something. We need to try something. So we made a commitment and we got on the family health plan, where we got to sponsor both of our kids that were home for free. And then my daughter at college, we just sent it off with her. I felt like a rock star mommy after just 1 month being on the product. My kids weren't missing school anymore. They weren't missing their activities. And I was getting 30 fruits and vegetables into their little bodies before they left for school. And so I just knew it just gave me that little comfort of knowing that I was feeding them the right thing, because when I saw their health change, I knew it made a big impact. And I am proud to say that 9 years later, we have not had one sick visit for my entire family, and not one of us has touched an antibiotic in 9 years. So that's my story. It's not everybody's story, but it's been the biggest blessing for us, and we are so much happier and healthier today as a family. So my business story started just shortly after that. Kelly invited me to their conference, was in Phoenix at the time. And she asked me to be her guest. And she wanted to show me how I could get the best price for my product. And I wasn't interested in the business at all. But I'm always a party waiting to happen. And I love to just be at events. And so I said I would go, and I was blown away. I knew I was at the right place at the right time. But again, I wasn't looking for a business. I was way too busy. I loved being a stay-at-home mom, and I loved being involved and volunteering for my kids' school. So, but little did Kelly know that I had been praying for a job, but I didn't want to work. I wanted a job that would give me some extra income that I could help with my family's family budget. And I just didn't know what empty nest was going to look like for me. I struggled when my first one left for college, because I just, not being needed as a mom, as some of you know that are mommies, it's like, I was like, what is this going to look like? Because she was off and doing her own thing. And I knew shortly my other two were going to be leaving too. So I didn't know what was next for me. So this business has given me a new confidence in myself and my girls to get to see me stepping into the person God has created me to be. My passion for health and wellness with a purpose to help others has been the biggest gift as I had prayed for. I love the flexibility of working this business wherever and wherever I am. I've been here in California all summer and traveling all summer, and it's just been awesome. This business allows me to be able to give back more without dipping into my budget, which I had prayed about. And lastly, this business has given me this community of amazing friends that I would have never been able to have met if I didn't have said yes to this adventure. So I said yes to the gift of health, to awesome personal development, a yes to a heart full of gratitude, and for the opportunity to be a mom on a mission with a company with a huge heart. So thank you again, Carol, for letting me share my story. And with that, I am going to go with my newest partner, Kimberly. I would love you to share your story. She is a gift. She is a joy to be around. I've loved getting to know her. She's new to our business and she came through the door of the Tower Garden, which is amazing. And she will share with you the power of growing your own food because she's got lots of towers and she's got a great story. So Kimberly, please share.
Hello. Thank you very much for the nice introduction, Michelle. Well, as many of you know, that when you saw the list of the people that were speaking tonight, my name was not on there. And I was actually always part of the plan for tonight, but to be perfectly honest, I allowed my personal insecurities to overwhelm me, and I procrastinated and didn't get my bio in. So that is my fault. It is all on me, and I apologize to all of you. But it's okay to have insecurities. Hey, everybody does, even trained speakers. So it doesn't matter. The crazy thing is I am actually really, really excited to share with everybody about my health journey and how excited I am about the Juice Plus Tower Gardens and all the other great products that they have. A little about me: I live in Clearwater, Florida with my adult son, who's 26. Briefly, and back in 2020, before all the madness hit, I went to my sister's birthday in California, and I live in Florida. And another good friend of my sister's, Julie Dale, who lives in Arizona, also flew in for Debbie's birthday. And Julie and I had a great opportunity to reconnect. And during the shutdown and all the madness, we got a lot closer and started chatting more, and it was great. So when she learned about my desire to go on, that I was really on this health journey to try and find the better solution for what's going to work for me and my family, she told me about Juice Plus, and I was, like, okay, well, the whole fruits and vegetables essentials, that makes perfect sense. I can, that I see that. So I was all in, but I still struggle with being consistent on taking them, because some of us have consistency issues. Anyway, but even though we know the product, it makes sense and it's great. But that's my loss. And, later on, I figured out the pieces of the puzzle all fit together so nicely, but I don't want to get ahead of the story. So, anyway, so I also took the omegas, because as I really, even though I live in Florida and I've grown up in the South, I don't like fish, never have. So even the slightest hint of the fish oil flavor has always completely grossed me out. And I don't care even the tips and tricks they said about putting it in the fridge or putting it in the freezer before you take it to hide that fish oil taste. It doesn't hide. If you don't like that taste, it sneaks up on you, and it's an issue. So I was thrilled about the omegas and not having to deal with that anymore. So that was super exciting. Anyway, so forward fast to 2021, I went to a life coach reunion, and one of the life coaches that was at the reunion happened to own the cafe that we were eating at. And he and his wife were explaining to me about whole food, plant-based lifestyle. And these were words I had never heard before. What do you mean whole food? I mean, isn't food food? It's like, no, food is not food. And some of the things we are eating are actually not the whole food, like is in the capsules. It's like, oh, I get it now. Pieces fall together. Anyway, so that was like on a Friday. And then I spent the entire weekend researching whole food, plant-based eating and the lifestyle and all the science behind it. I told my son that as of Monday morning, after I finished my brisket, I was going to go whole food, plant-based, because I wasn't going to waste that wonderful brisket. Anyway, so he's 25 years old and thinks I'm a little crazy, but he's willing to watch the documentaries, watch the science, and we could talk about the different scientific things that I had found. And by Monday morning, he was all in at 25 years old. And then we dumped our refrigerator. We didn't dump it. We shared it with others who did not choose to follow that path. So we didn't just throw it away, but we gave it out to others. And we've been whole food plant-based ever since and have no intention of going back. So excited. And then to find out, and as I learn more, that, you know, the whole food plant-based lifestyle fits in so perfectly with Juice Plus and the essentials, and that is a whole food. They didn't just extract stuff, they used the whole fruit, and that's where you get all the nutrients that I'm so desperately wanting and needing, and that we all really desperately want and need. So anyway, so as I was telling Julie about my excitement of going whole food plant-based, she's like, hey, you know, have you really paid attention to the Tower Garden? I know we talked about this, but let me talk to you about this again. And it was like, I didn't really click before, but now that my mind was opening and exploring a new path, it was like, hey, that makes perfect sense. I mean, I have no green thumb. My mother had beautiful gardens. You could take any cutting from any plant and stick it in the ground and make a beautiful plant out of it. I don't have that gift. That did not pass down to me. And my biggest fault was always remembering to water my poor little plants. That was my biggest downfall. They always died of dehydration. So with the whole Tower Garden, self-watering was like, oh, problem solved. So anyways, and then I got even more excited when I went to my Holistic MD's website, you know, to get some information from him. And I saw that he was also selling Tower Gardens on his website. So I knew that even with his scientific investigations that he had done, he also completely supported it to the point where he was selling them on his website. And it's like that really even gave me more confidence in them. So I got so excited that I bought 3 Tower Gardens, and I've been having a wonderful time experimenting, exploring, failing, succeeding. You know, life doesn't have to be perfect. It's not meant to be, but you know, you have fun along the way. And you know, like when I first was planting all my things, I was so excited. I failed at my first attempt of labeling things. It didn't go as I had envisioned. And by the time things were growing, all the labels were gone. I didn't know what was what. It was really a sensorial exploration to figure out what this was. It's like, what does it taste like? What does it smell like? And I had to guess. Honestly, that's how clueless I was about my vegetables. So I was so excited. I was harvesting basil. I was going to make this wonderful basil pesto, and I got a whole bunch of it. And I had so much basil that I bagged some up for my friends. So I made my basil pesto. I gave some to my friends, and so they could make their basil pesto. And I had such a wonderful harvest going that I'd done that multiple times and shared it with my friends multiple times. And only to eventually later figure out it wasn't basil, it was actually kale. And I had been making a kale pesto. But you know what? It still tasted great. So, you know, make mistakes, have fun, eat your mistakes. It all works out. You know, it's just, I can't say enough great things about them. I love it. I have this wonderful tomato bush growing right now, and I'm just excited to see, you know, what's going to come off of it. So it's great. And now that I understand the whole food concept, taking my essentials, you know, which is whole food just ground up into easy form, is so much easier for me to make that a consistent part of my daily routine because I get it. And I don't think I really got it. And I think that's why I was inconsistent with it. And so I think when you really understand something, the more you understand, the more you're willing to go, yeah, I'm all in. You know, that's when I get excited about something, obviously I just dive all in. So, and so I'm excited about having my Tower Gardens, and looking forward to getting some more Tower Gardens, and, you know, just really having as much fun as possible with it. And all I can say is it's okay to make mistakes. It's so okay to struggle with your insecurities. You know, it's all part of life's journey. And, you know, if the way I look at it is sometimes people may think it's hard to talk to your friends, but to me, it's just part of the excitement of knowing something that is awesome and it's going to help them. And if I call them my friend and somebody that I care about, you know, what kind of friend am I if I'm not sharing my excitement and the knowledge that I have learned and gained with all of this information. I've got to share it with them. It's I have to. How can I not? So I just encourage you all to not hesitate about sharing any of these wonderful things with your friends and family, because they need it. They need it as much as we all do. So anyway, so
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you so much. That was
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Sandy Sikes, who is just the salt of the earth. I met Sandy at a prayer breakfast at one of our conferences, and now we're prayer breakfast buddies. And so I'm going to let you go ahead and share your awesome story, Sandy.
Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Well, I'm Sandy Sikes from High Point, North Carolina. So it's wonderful to be friends across the United States. And I'm actually a retired public school educator of over 30 years. I was a high school biologist. I see the hands waving, yay. I was a high school biology teacher. And then my last 16 years, I was actually a principal in 3 different schools, the last 11 years in elementary. And I've been a professor at Wake Forest University, and I'm currently at High Point University as a professor and an executive coach. And, you know, some of you may be here tonight, be very skeptical about why am I on this Zoom? Why did I log into this? And I will tell you that I was a bigger skeptic than you are. I probably would have never even logged in. You know, the reason I tell you my educational background is because I have a master's in biology and a PhD in curriculum instruction. That's no big deal, except I thought I knew everything I needed to know about nutrition. And I was so skeptical about supplements and vitamins. I would not give them the time of day. I actually heard about Juice Plus over 8 years ago, but I just thought, nah, I don't need that stuff. Well, 4 years ago, I was dealing with some pretty severe health issues, and I'd actually gone through 17 medical tests over a period of 8 months. And it finally was determined that I needed major GI surgery. Well, 2 weeks before my surgery, I read on Facebook, on Ricky Prohl's Facebook page, and I was a big fan of Ricky Prohl since his playing days at Wake Forest because I bleed black and gold. And he put on there, so thankful that 14 years ago, I was introduced to Juice Plus on the Panthers training table. I went, what? The Panthers training table? And I thought, well, maybe there's a little bit more to this than I think. I'll just ask my surgeon. So when I was getting ready for a appointment with him, so I said, I know I'm going to be on a liquid diet for 4 to 6 weeks after I have the surgery. I've heard about this thing, Juice Plus. What do you think? Should I, is that something that I should start taking? I'm so thankful that he was a doctor that actually knew about Juice Plus, because he looked at me and without hesitation, he said, absolutely, that would be an excellent idea. Well, as I say, that was 4 years ago. And I was so taken back. I wasn't really sure, but I had Kelly Prohl's card because I was helping to build a handicap playground out at their sports center in Greensboro. So I went home, I picked up the card and I called her and kind of introduced myself and said, I'd like to talk to you about Juice Plus. And she said, I would love to talk to you about Juice Plus. And so it's kind of the rest is history. And so now, that was 4 years ago. I'm so thankful that I took a more serious look at Juice Plus, because it's not a supplement, as we've already talked about. It's got a food label. It's got a nutrition label. It's whole food, fruits, and vegetables. It's exactly what my body needed to get rid of all the inflammation that was causing so many of my problems. Well, now 4 years later, I feel better. I have more energy. I'm hardly ever sick, and I used to be so sick all the time. I'm almost 69 years old, and I have more energy and vitality than I've had in years. And my doctors actually always comment on my wellness checks when I go in. They talk about, wow, you have so much. One of them told me I was a poster child. One of my cardiologists told me I was a poster child for that Juice Plus, that juice stuff that I was doing. And so anyway, I'm so thankful, but I'm also so thankful for what it's done for my 88-year-old mother and my nieces and their children. And so I became a big raving fan about Juice Plus. Well, You also need to know that I've been burned several times in network marketing systems years ago. And so I had no interest in a Juice Plus business. In fact, I actually told Kelly that in very loud, confident ways. Whenever I was getting ready to place my order, I said, well, wait a minute, if I'm going to have to be pressured to do some business or something, then we just don't need to go any further. And she said, no, that's not at all. Well, when I decided to pay $52 later, when I was such a fan, so I could get, 10% back on my, help save on the total cost of my product. That's all I planned to do. I signed up to do that. Well, my friends started saying, what are you doing? And I said, what do you mean what are you doing? Well, they could tell that something was different in me. I was feeling better. I mean, they noticed it. And so I'd say, well, I think it's this Juice Plus stuff that I'm taking. So as I shared, I got customers, and I shared and I got customers. And 6 months later, I'd had 3 promotions. I was at the highest commission level. And I finally had to look at some folks in my living room one night at an event. And I said, I have to admit, I have a Juice Plus business. So I'm so thankful that I have a Juice Plus business. I love the community. I would have never met Michelle and some of those wonderful folks that are out there in Arizona. I'm so thankful for it. And I'm very passionate now about sharing it with all that I love and care about, because I know what a difference it's made in my life. And I want to do the same for them. And this summer, I would have had to just live on my retirement check. I wasn't employed at the university this summer. And it was so nice that those months, I still had my supplemental income coming in my Juice Plus check. I didn't have to just live on my retirement check. So I went from being a skeptic, big skeptic, with a capital S, to being a raving fan about the product. And now I'm a woman on a mission, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Because I get to help others protect their health and well-being, and help them, for many, provide them some financial choices. And that excites me every day. So thank you so much, Michelle, for inviting me to be a part of this. I love sharing, and I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Sandy. I love your story. Okay, so the next 2 ladies that we have are actually my sideline buddies. And I can't say enough about each of them. So I'm just going to let Tonya go for it. And Tonya, I don't know anybody that has a more courageous and brave heart as you, my friend. And I love your story. So you've got the stage, girlfriend.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I am going to start my timer, so I'll try not to go over my 5 minutes because I have 8 years worth of history that I want to share with you guys in 5 minutes. So I'm going to talk really fast, so I apologize ahead of time. But most importantly, I'm super excited to share with you guys because like you've kind of heard from some past speakers, there's kind of some nerves that come along with sharing your story, right? There's some vulnerability. And 8 years ago, when I first got introduced to this product, I was a glossophobic. Does anybody know what that is? Anybody raise your hand if you know what a glossophobic is? Yeah, it's somebody that has a fear of public speaking. Anybody have a fear of public speaking out there? Yeah. So that was me. Like, I was the person that you told me to get up in front of any amount of people, and I was shaking in my boots. I was like sweating. I was hyperventilating. I was close to passing out. So that was me prior to Juice Plus. So starting there, I am Tonya, by the way. I live in Mesa, Arizona. I have 2 amazing boys, 22 and 11 years old, and I've been with my husband for over 20 years now. And we are so busy with baseball and outdoor stuff, and we just have so much fun living in Arizona. But at the time when I found Juice Plus, I had been in banking for many years, banking and finance, and I thought that was going to be my career for the rest of my life. I enjoyed it. I loved helping people. It was good hours. It was Monday through Friday. And for the most part, I was able to participate in what was going on with my family. Well, at the age of about 33, I started developing some health issues shortly after having my second son that numerous doctors kept telling me the same thing over and over again, which was that I was going to require a full hysterectomy to resolve it, or I would be put on medications for the rest of my life. And I didn't like either of those answers. And so after 13 doctors, I finally found one that said, well, you know what, why don't you try changing your diet? Why don't you go on an anti-inflammatory diet and start cutting out these certain foods and see how your body responds to that before you go so severe? And basically what he prescribed was the Shred 10. If anybody knows what the Shred 10 is, that's exactly what I was doing. But this was the first time I had ever dieted in my life. Prior to that, I had grown up on Taco Bell and McDonald's and a 6-pack of soda a day. And I'm not shaming anybody for any of those things. I'm just saying that was the only thing I knew. And for my kids as well. And so that all, you know, it transpired into disease, unfortunately. And so here I was, 33 years old, and I was missing my boys' baseball games. I was missing work. I was missing life because I was in pain and I was suffering. And so I tried this diet and I was suffering from the diet. But thank God, one of my coworkers sitting next to me at lunch said, "Hey, why don't you try these shakes?" And it happened to be our Juice Plus shakes, and they fit perfectly into my lifestyle. From that point on, it was just kind of a snowball effect of, oh, you mean my kids can get fruits and vegetables for free? Yes, let's do that. But I was a skeptic in the fact that I didn't want anything on auto pay, because being a banker, auto pay is a bad thing. And so I would pay cash for probably the first 6 months or so. And so it wasn't until Michelle Igluski, who is also on here, invited me to an event in Phoenix where we went to, you know, the Orange Tree Hotel in Phoenix, and it was probably about 200 people that were on fire to share their stories about Juice Plus. And I was blown away, because being in the banking world, it was a very competitive world. It was very cutthroat. Everybody was out to, you know, kind of take advantage of each other. And when I went to this, everybody was so loving and so kind, and I was just blown away. And so I was like, okay, tell me more. And so she taught me how I could, you know, just tell a few friends and family members about the success that I had had and how, you know, it could start to pay for itself. Well, lo and behold, I start noticing that my hair has grown longer than it ever has. My adult acne has gone away. My son's asthma and allergies are resolving. His eczema is resolving. All these things are adding up. And so how can I not share that with people? And so again, it snowballs into this thing of, all right, well, now all of a sudden, you know, I kind of had this second job and I never wanted one, right? I was busy enough. I didn't need it. But yet it was on fire because it was fun to share. It was helping other people and having people come back to me and say, oh my goodness, my family is healthier this way, and I got off these meds and such and such. And so lo and behold, Michelle and my upline NMD Aleta, which I'm wearing red lips for you today, they both got me to tell my story in a public forum, right? It started in my house, and then it went to public events, it went to restaurants, to the point that I got past my fear of public speaking. Because of that, my job saw the improvements that I was making. Oh, I'm out of my 5 minutes. And so they decided that they were going to give me a promotion. And they said, all right, well, why don't you go teach banking and finance to high schoolers at a vocational high school? And I got to do this amazing thing where I created a curriculum. I got to be in front of 500 people speaking in public. None of that would have happened without my Juice Plus business. And so it's so funny how something so small as just fruits and veggies and capsules can translate into so many bigger things when we're not realizing it. And if we fast forward even further onto that, about 2 years into that, I was working 60 hours a week and I was back to missing my family again. And so this company allowed me to have the courage and the ability to step away and retire at the age of 38 years old. And I was able to be with my son, take him to school, pick him up, drop him off, go to field trips, do all kinds of fun stuff with him that I never got to do before. And I got to do that for a whole year until my 39th birthday, when I found a lump in my breast. And that's when everything changed. And I was diagnosed with a very extreme and aggressive form of breast cancer. And it was scary for quite some time. And this was 3 years ago, almost to the month that I got that diagnosis. And so fast forward to now, I'm now cancer-free. I've been through 2 years of treatments. And my doctors have been blown away by my recovery. Not only have I been able to keep my blood counts high throughout all of it to where I didn't miss any of my treatments, but they literally, like we heard before, used me as a poster child to where they were showing other doctors my results. And they were so proud of the results that I had. And I give a lot of credit to Juice Plus for that, because not only did, we learn as a family how to eat healthier because of Juice Plus. But we also have the advantage of having the best nutrition in the world, 30 plants every day that go into our body. And so the bigger part of it is the community. And that's where Aleta comes in. She's coming next. But throughout my journey, and this is where I'm going to try not to get choked up, because some of the best support systems that I had were right here. They're on this call with me right now. They came to chemo with me. They were at my house bringing my family dinner throughout all of it. And I would have never had any of that without the Juice Plus company. So it's so much bigger than a paycheck. It's so much bigger than the promotions that we get. It's a godsend. It really is. And that's the other part of my story, is that almost 3 years ago to the date, we were at our pajama regional party up in Michelle's cabin, and we've got another one coming up soon. If anybody's going to the pajama regional, it's a great event, and I hope you guys go to it. But I literally had women praying over me and sharing their faith with me, to the point that it helped me grow in my faith through my cancer journey. And again, I wouldn't have had any of that without the community of the Juice Plus company. And so for that, I am forever grateful. And no matter how scared I get to share my story, I will never stop, because everybody needs to hear the power of fruits and vegetables and what nutrition can do to help heal you and maybe someday save your life. And so we never claim that Juice Plus cures anything, obviously, but we do know that it can help contribute to improving just about anything. And so that's why I'll forever share it. And so next up is the amazing Aleta, my NMD. And Michelle, did you want to intro her, or?
Yeah, I would. I have to say just something sweet, because everybody on this call, if you're not a partner or thinking about the business, I mean, Aleta has been my sideline buddy. She is my NMD that was introduced to me by my NMD, and she's the first one that gave me samples to the product. And she has been such a mentor to me. She invited me to her house every Saturday to train with her team, and they are all so gracious. And she has just been, I have to say, Dr. Sears, you all know who Dr. Sears is. He called her one time when he was speaking. He said, "Here comes Mother Aleta." And that is exactly who she is. She is like my best friend in this world. I would have never met her if it weren't for this Juice Plus business. And she's my mentor. She's my bestie. And I adore her. And she's got an incredible story. And go for it, Miss Aleta. Mother Aleta.
Thank you so much, Michelle. You know, I don't like it when you call me Mother Aleta. And Tonya, what a great story, and what a segue into what I'm about to say. And it's an honor for me to share on this call. But I first wanted to acknowledge the sorrow that you all experience, and myself, with your leader, Cheryl Cortese, and her teams as they grieve the loss of her executive assistant, Missy, and with the sudden and completely unexpected death. And may she, you know, just be greeted by a heavenly choir of angels. And, you know, grief is not a sign of weakness nor a lack of faith. It's the price of love. And I just wanted to acknowledge that, because I know many of you are grieving. And as I say that, I remember the loss of my own mother, who's today, would have been her 94th birthday. And I have to say that she's now in heaven with my dad and my sister, who passed away last year. And it was my Juice Plus community who came through for me. The countless letters and dinners, and sometimes it's not all about kumbaya and the happy times and how fast you're growing and all of that, right? There's lots of those, there really is, but it's also about helping someone during a difficult time and being there for that person who's standing right in front of you. You know, sometimes we come in for different reasons. I had no idea why I joined this business. I didn't have a why. And then the reasons we come in is health. Some of us come in for health, right? Because our health is suffering. We come in for wealth because we need some secondary income. We come in for community because we don't have community. Maybe some of us have families that are estranged or whatever. And then we come in for self-development because we learn a lot in this business about how to grow as a woman and as a man, and how to be there. Now, I took this product for 13 years, you guys, before I even knew there was a business to it. So my story is way different. Imagine that. So my sponsor called me out of the blue And he saw my name on a genealogy report. And for some of you who don't know what that is, it's shipped to us maybe 3 times a month. And that's where your whole organization and all your distributors and customers are on that. And he got to see where I lived. And I was living in Phoenix, Arizona, right? Which I still am today. So sometimes it's about timing. He was fun to talk to. I was on the phone, but I was doing a lot of stuff for $19 an hour. And I was volunteering all the time. And when he asked me how my business was, I had no idea what he was talking about, because I had been taking this product for 13 years, but you're really not doing it as a business. I was putting my order in for 13 years. I had a friend who was an orthopedic surgeon. He took it, and a friend of mine who had breast cancer. I called the company. I gave them a credit card. They shipped me 3 boxes, and I would try to find them in the city for 3 or 4 weeks and then give them their boxes, and they gave me their check. And when I found out that I could put it in online and have it directly shipped to them, I was ecstatic. And that's what got me to do the business. That simple little easy button. And so let me give you an idea what happened. You know, we all believe that their life is going to shake out in a certain way, right? I had hoped I would get married and live happily ever after. And we did have 6 amazing kids. I have 19 grandkids now. Well, I don't know what your turnaround moment is in your life, why you said yes, or maybe some of you are thinking about saying yes. Maybe it's the ease of how you can do it while you do life. And that's really why I did it. Put in a few orders, kind of have a little thing to do, a hobby, and how it all started, really, just a little hobby. So at nearly 25 years of finding myself single now, I wondered how all this volunteering was going to work out for me financially. So when I found out, I decided to jump in a little bit more. And to my surprise, when my youngest went to college, my Juice Plus check was twice as big as my $800 child support check was. So you see, God knew for me what I had yet to discover myself. And I'm glad I did. So I tell you, I was invited to an international conference, which is like the one in Atlanta coming up. And I heard 2 things, and that was a defining moment. I drew a line in the sand. I heard Dr. David Katz say this is the first generation of parents that will outlive their children. And I couldn't believe it. Then I heard an oncologist say this was the first time in her practice she has seen 17-year-olds have to talk about cancer options instead of their high school prom. And so because I said yes, besides having 19 grandkids that are thriving in their health, which I'm extremely grateful for, that should be my only reason, I was able to use my Juice Plus check to send my daughter to Costa Rica for a summer to learn Spanish. Because of that, she went into nursing school, and now she's a traveling nurse, and she's able to speak in both languages and thrive in her field. My second daughter, my second child is a girl also, and she's a cardiothoracic nurse practitioner who works on the hearts of babies, hearts transplants on premature babies. And she used her product, our Juice Plus product, as her prenatal for her 8 children. And they're all thriving. So she had 8 kids. Because I said yes, I was able to bring my son Cole to the surf trip of his life. So he goes to Fiji, photographing giant waves and surfers, and he hopes to help the Fijians with their water supply. And I have a son who's in professional athletics. And because I said yes, one day he called me at 11 p.m. at night and said, put me on that Juice Plus stuff. And he was able to have amazing career and have it a little bit longer. But what if I didn't say yes? You know, this is another thing that you often think. What if you don't say yes, right? Because you can go about your merry way and not say yes, maybe eat a few more fruits and vegetables, maybe drink more water, maybe, you know, exercise more, maybe take the product for yourself. But what if I didn't say yes? I would have never been able to share this product, because we have the opportunity to share it now with others, with my housekeeper, whose son David got severely burned by playing with fire last Christmas. 80% of his body was burned, and Sarah had to live in the hospital for 5 months and have over 15 surgeries. And she started giving him Juice Plus, and the doctors were astonished as to how much it was helping him in his body. And you should see the transformation in his body. And we have a skin study, right? So of course, my best story, I have so many, but one of my best stories is one of the gals. My son, I had a son who was severely into drug addiction. He was a crystal meth addict. He's sober today, 16 years, and now he's a therapist and runs a company. So don't feel sorry for him. Anyway, when I was there at his graduation of him graduating from school, or whatever you call it, the inpatient, I met a gal named Chelsea, and I could not believe it. She had lost her child. She was a smoker. She lost her home. She was just a mess. And I, for some reason, had a box of Juice Plus in my car. How often do we have that, right? We never do. So I gave the box to Chelsea, and I said, Chelsea, go home and take 2, 2, and 2 of these every single day. And promise me you'll do it. And she did. I guess she did, because about 6 months later, she knocked on my door, and I couldn't believe who it was. It was a beautiful woman. Her face was beautiful, complexion clear. She said, hey, Lita, this is Chelsea. You gave me that stuff like 6 months ago. And I just want to tell you, I never felt compelled to relapse. So I was thrilled. And Chelsea now went home and she got a job, got her kids back. They all went to college on her own dime. She got a home and she's now thriving. And she brought in 3 more Juice Plus reps from Wickenburg, Arizona. So I'm just really, really proud of that. So you just never know, what's going to happen because of saying yes. It might be secondary. It might be $1,000 extra. It might be $10,000 extra. It doesn't matter. So me, winning isn't something that happens suddenly when you're on the field, when the whistle blows and the crowds roar. Winning is something that you build physically, mentally, spiritually, every day you train and every night that you dream. So I love seeing my team. I love seeing others dream, and to watch how God can weave their beautiful thread in your life and express a new, experience and see a new experience for them. So I love what I do, and I love inspiring and helping other women and men create lives of passion, purpose, and possibility. So I want to thank you all. Thank you, Michelle, for inviting me to join you all on this call, and I'm going to pass it right back to you.
Thank you, Aleta. You couldn't have ended it better. So I'm going to leave it with that, because I know we're a little bit over on our time, but I just can't thank everybody enough for sharing your hearts and for sharing your stories. And I just think that this is for everybody, from infants to old adolescents, and it's an amazing product. It's been such a gift. So Carol, you can, I know I probably
was laughing at Bonnie because she said, I'm old. We are here every Thursday night sharing our Juice Plus stories. Story time is my favorite. We invite you all to stay on the line. We have Beth Meyer, who is going to do our training event tonight. So hang out for a little bit. We'll keep it short and sweet so that we can still end on time. But thank you guys. We'll be here again next Thursday.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you.
Bye.